Some people don't train their dogs enough, while other people overtrain their dogs. Just like our bodies and physical effort, you can undertrain and overtrain. On average, sessions that go 10 to 20 minutes do best. So if the temperatures are right, if you're in a relaxed state, your dog is ready, it's been confined, you've got a 10 to 20 minute window to really teach your dog something. If you go beyond that, then the effectiveness lesson may wear off because you're overtraining and your dog gets tired. You may over-repeat a command so that your dog becomes sluggish or less likely to do it cleanly. So if, in my general rule during a lesson, I'm looking at the rule of 3. If a dog performs a task 3 times in a row very cleanly, very nicely to my satisfaction of what I consider to be the definition of sit or down or place, then I'm going to move on to the next task so that I don't drive into the ground a point that's already been received and complied with. And we often try and rush dog training into our lives when it's not really necessary. If you budget your time and know when you can and when you can't train, then you're prepared. So if I've had a bad day at my job, if I've had a bad day with my family, if I wake up and I'm not feeling well, that's a day that I'm not going to train my dog unless I can get my mind right, because if I become impatient, if I become frustrated, if I'm tired and the dog sees that I am different, then I'm not going to get the best result out of my dog. And sometimes a day off, everybody needs one. So when I go out there to train my dog, I'm going to be fresh, I'm going to be clean, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to look forward to the lesson because I want my dog to look forward to working with me. And if I get myself right, I get my equipment prepared, I get my location right, I set the dog up for success, and I go out there in the right state of mind, I'm going to have a great session. And it's my responsibility as the leader, as the trainer, as the teacher or coach to get that right. It's not my dog's responsibility to do any of that stuff. And communication is multiple things that you do with your dog. Some of it is tone of voice. One of the biggest things that I tell people is something that I learned from one of my mentors. Do not command your dog. You may be in charge of the dog may be on a lower pecking order in your house than you. However, you do not have to be the dog's commander. You have to lighten up, you have to relax, and basically talk to the dog like you actually like it. So I often see people will play around with their dog, hey buddy, what's going on? Sit! And then they completely change their disposition and demeanor. And the way we talk to our dog in general conversation is the same tone of voice that I ask them to talk to them when they're giving them instructions or commands. There's no need to elevate your voice. If necessary, we can adjust the level on the collar to get the dog's attention without having to become a point of conflict or strife or tension. Because if we raise our voice and we square our shoulders off and we close our mouth and we stiffen up, the dog reads that faster than we can control it. So if we can keep ourselves relaxed, keep our mouth open, talk to the dog like we actually like it, we're going to get a better result. You also have communication with the electronic collar, you have communication with the leash, and you have communication with your body language. So if your arms are crossed and you're asking the dog to come to you and you're saying in a very stern voice, your likelihood of being successful is very low. But if you crouch down a little bit, open up your arms, smile, and call your dog in with little clicks and whistles, hey buddy, that dog's probably going to come running into you because you're more exciting than everything else that's in the environment. And that language is very clear to the dog. The basic standard of training that I consider is something that I learned called the 3-action introduction. And that's that the dog has to be able to do 3 things at a minimum. And that's to move away from me, to come towards me, and to perform stationary commands. So the move away is to go to a place, to a target, or to go retrieve an item or go around an object, whatever I may ask it to do. But I want it to be able to move away from me on command to a specific distance or location. The other thing I want the dog to do is to come to me, and that's generally the here command. Whether I call it into position to swing into heel, or whether I want it just to be 2 to 3 feet around me. I want the dog to move to me, and then I want the dog to perform stationary commands. Sit, down, or to hold itself on a place. If it can perform those 3 things, then at a minimum you can say your dog is trained because it has the task and the ability to do those basic movements. And you can have a phenomenal dog that does those 3 things. The 3 Ds are distance, distraction, and duration, and they're one of the staples of training. So we have to be aware that dogs are situational learners. And if we teach the dog sit down here inside our house, it will perform those tasks inside our house perfectly. But eventually we have to get the dog out into the real world. And that's where distance, distraction, and duration come into play. As we develop proficiency and fluency in our dog's behavior, we have to increase the distance at which we operate, the distraction level that we put the dog under, and the duration of time we ask the dog to perform a command for. And the more we do that, the greater those 3 things become, the more skilled and proficient our dogs are, and the more fun we can have with them. So once your dog has the ability to handle a lot of distance, distraction, and duration, we can take it out into stores, we can take it to restaurants and plazas, we can take it to the park, we can take it out in town, we can take it to friends' houses, and now our dog is a polite, respectful citizen as opposed to just a dog.